This week on Scotty and Rico Make a Podcast.
There's something awesome about experiencing other cultures, whether it's the music, the food. There's so much to other people.
Immigrants are just people that used to be somewhere else.
There's nothing good about diversity other than the food, and we don't need 128 million Mexicans for the restaurants.
Oh, God. This is the worst quote I've ever heard. No, there's worse. He opens opens the luggage, reaches in, grabs this little packet of white powder, looks at me, and I'm like, Senor, I don't know.
Welcome to podcast number 10.
Our anniversary.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
We made it. You know, it's been a long road towards
soldiering
through a lot of editing and cutting and that you have been doing.
No, we don't do editing, cutting. Everything you hear is perfect.
as it goes.
We're naturals.
A lot of work you put into it.
Thank you, Matthew, for filling in last week.
I guess I should say thanks.
Yeah.
But he did such a good job that don't come again because I'm going to be replaced. So
you were gone for last episode, and I want to be the first to welcome you back.
Thank you. Well, thank you for welcoming me into your country.
Thank you.
Welcoming me back to America.
Right? Tell everyone where were you?
It was a tough journey. I was in Chile. I went to visit my family, and I had a great time. I was only there for a week.
Yeah.
But it is such a beautiful country. I love it. It's very vegetarian friendly. So wherever I went,
vegetarian. Are you vegetarian?
I happen to be vegetarian. I haven't mentioned that before.
Usually
it's the first thing I like to mention.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Rico, and I'm vegetarian. I do CrossFit, and
and I'm a musician.
And I like to tell you everything that makes me better than you. So
yeah, that's right. I think we in our episode that we never released, we might have talked about being vegetarians.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal to me, so I'm going to talk about it for the next 30 minutes.
Actually, this episode is about... No, it's not about vegetarianism.
No, it's not.
Keep listening.
I hate talking about being a vegetarian, so one day I will if there's another vegetarian in the room, so that we can...
you mean another...
Another vegetarian.
I gotcha.
Oh, yeah, you're a vegetarian, too.
That's right.
We haven't fully initiated you. So you're more like in Star Wars when Anakin is sitting at the table, but you're not a Jedi yet.
Okay.
That's you're not a master yet. Okay.
Do I have to eat like a brick of tofu in order to be initiated or something?
Well, me and Corey will let you know.
All right, nice. All right, so you were in Chile.
Yeah.
You didn't bring me back any bread that you talked about.
I did bring back bread, and you will have some in our break.
Awesome.
All right, so and I also brought chocolate because their chocolate's amazing.
Yeah.
I brought some booze we can have a little shot of.
Awesome.
And what else did I bring? I brought some spices from my land.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty funny story because I brought a lot of spice. It's a pepper. It's called American. And I was at the airport, and I got randomly picked to be searched because every time I go by myself, I am randomly selected.
Oh, okay.
Selected to go through my stuff.
Did you ever think maybe shave your beard and don't look like a terrorist?
No, I've tried, but somehow they always figure out. They're pretty good. They're pretty good at spotting shady people.
Yeah.
So they always pick me.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, well, I'm going to tell you the story real quick. It's pretty funny. So I get pulled aside. The guy opens up my suitcase, and just the smell. It hits him like a ton of bricks. I saw his face like he was just slapped right in the face with the smell of the spice, which is a pepper. So his nose starts running right away. I see it like he's like, what is this? And I'm like, you're done. You got 10 seconds to live.
Say goodbye.
So I say, it's Marquen, it's from my peoples, it's the spice of my people. And he looked at it, looked around on it, and then he finally believed me because I put on my, I did the Puss in Boots face.
You show him your eyes?
Yeah, I'm like,
guys, his eyes are dreamy.
Batted my
Ladies,
eyelashes.
His eyes are dreamy.
Batted my eyelashes a couple times at him, and it was over. He let me right through.
Wow.
And so I've had a couple of situations. One time I brought real quick. Right time I had my stepmom loves the powdered milk they have over there.
So
it's a little case of powdered milk, like a little bag. And I got, of course,
Wait,
pulled over again.
A white powder?
Yes. So
Okay.
he opens opens the luggage, reaches in, grabs this little packet of white powder, looks at me, and I'm like, Senor, I don't know. I tell him it's milk, and he produces a knife.
Oh, no.
And stabs my milk, bringing out a little bit. And he sniffs it.
Like, he did a line of your
or he tasted
milk.
it. Like I can't remember if he sniffed it or like, but he brought it up to his nose.
Yeah,
I don't know if he tasted it or I can't quite recall. But I'm like, listen, you're gonna have to pay for that. That's serious merchandise. You're welcome. So he tapes it back up, puts it in my bag, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to give this to my stepmama after God knows where that knife has been.
Right? Yeah.
Like, and
that's not very sanitary.
No. So. But yeah, those were my what is that, NSA?
Yeah.
Right? NSA, right? So yep, every time. So I'm pretty prepared now. I used to get really nervous and start shaking, which apparently makes it worse.
Yeah.
Like the guy asked me the first couple of times, "Why are you so nervous?" I'm like, just
I don't know. I don't want to go to an internment camp.
Right. I see you have a glove on, and I know what happens when people have a glove on. Like,
I don't need my prostate checked.
There you go. Yeah, and it's and I had a stomach ache, so I was like, oh, I hope it doesn't rumble.
Oh no,
he's gonna see what's wrong with your stomach. We need to go to the bathroom. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was an awesome trip. Obviously by everything I've just told you.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Well, it's going to be our segue today, since our conversation we're going to have today is about immigration. And you probably going to have more information to tell everyone than I do.
Actually, I think you're going to be more facts. I'm going to be more personal experience.
Okay.
And with everything that's been going on, it's bad of me, but I almost sometimes avoid a little bit of it because it's very sentimental and it's getting me very riled up. I don't want to go on a Facebook
type of rant
and attacking and becoming, because, I think there's better ways to deal with it. That's good too, but, I think, attacking people and name calling and all that, I do that in my own. Sometimes I write a message and then I erase it, But.
Yeah, it's smart. This is about, I used to get into these Facebook conversations, and where during the elections, I would get into conversations, and I had a situation where I was talking about education, and someone had said that they have a problem with the current education. Okay, what is your problem with the education? And he said, all right, they were indoctrinating the kids, and they're turning them to Muslim.
I remember that. Yeah,
he was trying to say Muslim,
yeah,
but Muslim.
Right. Which, you would think that it was his way of doing a derogatory term, but he wasn't smart enough to even do that. So I think that. I'm sorry, I'm not calling your friend not smart. But...
He's not my friend. In fact,
okay.
I don't have people blocked on Facebook. He's the only person I blocked.
Okay. And it's like that would be too clever for him.
Right. I have met this guy, and he's not a thinker, but he's a voter.
Right.
And he's got opinions.
Right. So yeah, no, I see you've always been very diplomatic in trying to at least educate people who are very uneducated.
Yeah.
To certain subjects. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying they just either don't have information or they have been indoctrinated into a way of thinking that is obviously uninformed.
Yeah. Well, how do you have a conversation with somebody that has their beliefs? Mm-hmm. And you're trying to say, I have my beliefs, and I want safety. Mm-hmm. Well, I've been on the news, mm-hmm. Going to these different sites, and you know how you have the article, and then below it people leave comments.
Right.
So I want to know, okay, here's the article. What are people's opinions about that? And they share.
Yeah.
Oh, they share. So there is a lot of fear on conservative sides, on the liberal sides, and it's turning this ugly mess. They are insulting each other.
It goes from 0 to 60 fairly quickly, where it's about a subject and then it's about there's insulting each other.
You could go through and you could pick out like a salad. You could pick out every little this factoid and this factoid. Like every article is going to have that piece in it. They're going to talk about, and everyone's going to say that the other side is stupid and they don't know what they're talking about. But it all comes down to the same one fact, and that is fear. Everybody is so afraid of something.
Right. I think that that's a good way of seeing it, in that in all those conversations that you have about different political things, religion, blah, 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 it'll boil down to you have to see sometimes that the other person is speaking from a feeling and not a thought. They'll try to back up their feeling with cherry-picked facts, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes even a logical process, but you can't really back up a feeling with logic, you know? Logic is derived, and then you arrive to your conclusion.
Right.
So the way I see it with a lot of this is like, I feel a certain way about it, so here's some facts to support my feeling, right?
Right.
That is not really how even feelings come about. So it becomes a circular logic kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I usually go, you know what? I can't. I'm done with the discussion because it's obviously just how you feel, and I can't change that. You have to change that, you know?
Well, we can only go with the information that we, not even a given. It's what we're willing to receive.
Right.
I went online, and I wanted to know some people, what they're saying. And I pulled a couple of quotes that just kind of stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to read a couple. I'm going to call it What Angry Americans Are Saying.
Okay.
All right, so this is from DTom2. And he says, the libtards are so disconnected from reality that, while championing the children temporarily separated from their parents due to their parents' crime of illegal entry, they continue to totally ignore the stories of angel families whose loved ones were killed by illegal aliens, making the separation from their dead relative permanent, not temporary. Yet they have absolutely no sympathy for the Americans whose loved ones rots in his grave.
Right.
So I'm going to sum this up, what he was talking about.
Okay.
Somebody that was driving a car that's not an American citizen hit another car. That was an American family.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones in the American family, their car, somebody died. There was a kid. He died, and the other son is injured. The officer that arrived on the scene told the driver, the illegal alien driver, to go someplace. I don't remember exactly in the article, but not to leave the country, which the guy left the country.
Right.
So this guy, DTom2, what he's talking about, he's now taking this one story and now assigning it to every illegal.
Right. It's usually using anecdotal situations is the worst kind of way to present your argument.
Right.
And then there's the other part here where you're building a straw man and saying that because you care about something, therefore you don't care about something else.
Yeah.
That is plain illogical black and white thinking. Because because you care about a problem doesn't mean you don't care about another problem, you know. And you see a lot of that when you're trying to get a feeling. When you break down that whole situation is fear of these immigrants, because that could have been that person didn't do that because they were an immigrant. It was because they had a situation, they had a problem, they could have been a bad person, whatever, you know. So. And it's taking that and labeling with something and saying, well, you don't care about this because you care about this. And that's, 100% inaccurate, right? Like, that does not mean because you like a certain flavor doesn't mean you hate another flavor, right?
Right.
So,
and you think, let's say that there's a situation like this where there was an illegal immigrant that had committed a crime. Well, the people that are saying, the liberals, or as he calls them, libtards, that want the immigrants to come into the country. They want to have some kind of system where they're able to come to be in this country legally. They're not saying let people that commit crimes stay here and commit more crimes. But this guy's assigning all people that are immigrants here illegally are going to commit crimes, and they're going to kill your kids. They're going to put your other kids in wheelchairs. Right. No, that's not the case. Right. This whole idea of libtard is so asinine. It's not. taking the situation and having a conversation about it. It's like you're too stupid to talk to, and I'm not going to talk to you.
Right. And unfortunately, I see that on all sides.